I made so many money-wasting mistakes when I first set up my coaching business 7 years ago. Money, joy, and growth wasting mistakes. And I'm going to be very open and share 8 of them with you because I don't want you to make these mistakes as a new business owner. I've come through and now I have lots of joy and impact and growth. I am doing a jig every day with my business. I wrote a book, I've done a TEDx. I found my thing, and that matters, as you'll see from this list. Are you ready? Number 1, paying for a course I didn't need. Classic. There you are, your very early days of setting up a business. You haven't honed your message. You're not exactly sure what it is that you're selling or who you're selling to. Might be selling to the seagulls. And there you are, spending, in my case, over £1,000 on a flashy course. This online course was sold as the magic bullet for new businesses, and I used part of a business loan in order to invest in this. I was so convinced I needed it. I didn't. As time has gone by, I spot when I'm being pulled into something persuasive online that makes me think, oh, this is it. This is the next thing that's going to boost my business to extraordinary heights. And I stop myself. Some kind of certification, some kind of online mastermind thing that can cost so much money. And it's money down the drain because you're doing it at the wrong time and you're probably doing the wrong course. I invested in all sorts of courses about how to actually create an online course. I hadn't really established myself in this niche of communication coaching, or, as I say, exactly what my services were. So this was so back to front, and that's the thing to spot. Am I doing this back to front? Is this the right time and place? Hold back, double, triple check. Ask people that you know and ask them to be honest. Do I need this course? Do I need this special one-to-one coaching at this point? Number 2, I became obsessed with my website. Pretty much like number 1 in some ways. It's a question of doing something at the wrong time. I spent a lot of money on getting my website designed, not once, not twice, but 3 times by website designers. Admittedly, this was before there were so many good do-it-yourself website packages, but I know people still get caught in this trap. You go to this website designer's office or you have a meeting with them, they get out their laptop and they show you clients that they've done websites for, and you think, oh, I want that. You might want it, but you don't need it. And in my case, I also, once I got it designed, I wanted to tweak it because I kept thinking my message is different now. That's the wrong kind of photograph now. I've got some updated ones. I don't know how to tweak it. I'm going to have to pay the website designer again. I was up till midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, thinking, no, I need to change that headline, the hero section on my website. If that was different, like this person's hero website, I think I'd get clients flooding in. No, most clients never even look at the website. It's the other kind of networking, the word of mouth, going to events, maybe even LinkedIn, establishing who you are, what you do, who is it for. That takes time, and that's priority number 1. I mean, you could just have a really simple DIY thing to begin with. As long as it doesn't look tacky, unprofessional, and you've got spelling mistakes all over it, it'll do. Websites cost a fortune, seagulls. Seagulls agree. Number 3, over-giving. How many things did I give away to begin with? I don't regret all of them, but I went a bit too far. I was giving away free coaching for a start because, will you give me a testimonial? I'll give you free coaching. I could have just given them a discount. My time to appear at events, doing little workshops for free. And then also, because I wasn't established enough, I didn't even have a good upsell to give at the end because I hadn't really worked that out. I just thought, oh, yes, look, they've asked me if I can do this workshop. That'll be good. People will get to know me. I'll get lots of clients. It doesn't really work like that. There were some, you have to pick and choose. Be very careful. Don't just say, yes, yes, yes. And I'll give you this and I'll give you this. And now I'm going to create another little free thing that you can download and another one and an ebook. Number 4 is quite unusual. Giving in to my baggage. I had fears, I had certain associations and biases and all sorts of things and self-doubt because I'm human. And although I had established a very successful portfolio career in the world of acting and speaking and various other things, this setting up a business was very new. And I had quite an anti-business message going on from, I suppose, my childhood and growing up. My father was a very successful businessman, but he wasn't around much and we didn't have a very close relationship. So I had this odd association that the world of business was evil. And if you're going to be a successful business person, you can't be a nice person in your personal life. You can't have good relationships. I had baggage, and I also had baggage about, I don't like people who look like they're being flashy, who look like they're showing off. I don't know where that came from really, but I suppose growing up when I did, there was a lot of, ooh, don't show off, and nobody likes to show off messaging going on. So I gave in to all of that. So I was very slightly non-business-like to begin with, because I was afraid that if I suddenly became business Trisha, I'd become evil Trisha. And I was too wishy-washy around my messaging, just in case I looked as if I was being too strong, too forceful, like I was showing off. That's baggage. And I gave into it. I learned eventually to recognize it, to press pause, to do a bit of a rationality filter exercise and think, will they really think I'm showing off? Well, I'm not showing off unless I'm actually showing off. Or all these people I know, these lovely people that I've met on LinkedIn and at networking events, are they all evil people who don't have any private life at all? No. Ding! Recognized it. Oh, number 5 is brilliant, and it's a classic. Taking everyone's advice. This ranges from your podcast to your YouTube video to your self-help book to actual people. There's a lot of advice out there, and when you start off, you are a little bit naive and you're a bit needy. And what happens is you hear one person's advice. Oh, you should do this, Trisha. Oh, this would make a very good message. How about calling it this? I think your website should look like that. Have you thought of XYZ? And you actually almost change your plan every time you hear something. Your own belief in what you're doing is so wobbly, and your own focused thought about what you're doing is so unfocused that you are a willing victim. You will just swarm around with all this advice and mess up, because what you forget is that you're an individual, and whilst bits and bobs of certain advice might be very helpful, you need to read it through your eyes, you need to hear it through your ears, you need to apply it to your heart and soul and your specific thing that you're trying to do, which after all doesn't need to be a clone of everybody else's, does it? I recognised this when I spotted myself changing my website, actually, believe it or not, thinking, oh no, somebody has said on this YouTube video that you need XYZ, it should just be one page and it should have this sales thing, whatever. And I started to tweak it and change it, and it was hideous. And I didn't feel aligned with it. It felt like I'd sold my soul in the process. And I stopped. I thought, well, what are you doing? You're falling into that trap again. That advice might be great for one person, but it's not right for you. Press pause, stop, think, apply it to you. Good. Number 6 is a bit funny. Being too lovely. It might sound a bit vain. It might sound as if I'm actually saying what a lovely person I am, aren't I? Fishing for compliments. But no, in the first days, weeks, months, years, in fact, of growing my business, I was so worried about being liked that I took the edge off some of my power. And there are loads of books about how you can be nice but not too nice, and the myth of the nice girl, and I've got them on my shelf because it's something I've really had to work on. But there again, try not to take too much advice, just really reflecting on it. Can I turn this bit of my strength, my assertiveness up a little bit more without fear that people are going to think I'm cold and dominant and aggressive and bossy and showing off? Baggage. Yes, I can. The warmth is there. If anything, you've got too much of it, so it's not going to disappear if you turn the strength up. The one book that I read amongst all the pile of self-help books that I bought was Compelling People, and I'll give you a link. And they talked about this concept of strength and warmth and how you need the mix. You turn one up, turn one down, turn one up for respect, for trust. And that was really useful. Still find it quite hard, but I think now I'm not so scared of being a little bit more forceful. And if I'm going to say something or do it in a certain way, a certain style that might not appeal to everybody, not to obsess that will make me a nasty person and nobody will like me. I think it's baggage from school. That goes back to the baggage one. Oh. Number 7, well, just not believing in my value. This is an imposter syndrome kind of thing. I had all the skill set that was required to do what I was set up to do, help people with their communication skills and their confidence. I had the experience. I even had a few qualifications, but I didn't need a whole pile of certificates. I knew I had the experience. And what's more, when you're coaching, you're also learning all the time, and you're not there to just lecture people and tell them exactly what's right and what's wrong. So it is partly just your ability to listen. And I had that. I had all of that. But the minute I was being paid for something, I panicked because I thought people will think this is a rip-off. People honestly go away from this coaching session or this workshop or whatever it is thinking, well, that was a waste of money. A waste of money. So I would be up again all night, preparing so many extra things. This is part of the overgiving that I mentioned earlier on, in order to make sure that I was giving value. But they were paying for this, say it was a power hour, for this hour of my time. And they were doing that because they knew that I would be useful to them. I didn't need to pile a whole lot of other stuff on. I didn't need to give them 1,000 references for 1,000 books. I didn't need to write them 6 pages of notes after each session and send them the recording and send them my free book or whatever. I didn't need to do that. The value was there in me and it was there for them. And I just had to keep reminding myself. Have I got better at that? Yes. But it was really hard work. If I'd really been aware of what I was doing earlier on, I think I would have started that work earlier and saved myself quite a lot of messed up thinking, because it's exhausting. And finally, number 8, overcomplicating my messaging. This is actually connected to that last one. I felt I had to put a lot of really clever clog stuff into my, say, articles, my posts, my website even. I thought people wanted to know like psychology stuff and lots of references and maybe fancy words. And instead of 3 sentences in a paragraph that would have nice and concisely explained to somebody a thing I wanted to share, I would do, 30. So it weakened the impact. But it came from two things, I think. One being that I am very enthusiastic and perhaps I want to give too much and I get involved in things that I've read or things that I've suddenly thought about or stories from my past, and I'm banging those in left, right and centre. And also, as I say, because I'm worried that I won't maybe sound, I don't know, clever enough, value enough if I don't pile all this extra stuff in. It has the exact opposite effect, and I have learned that. Keep it simple. Just keep it simple and keep repeating it. And that went so against the grain for me. I've really had to work hard. But I have finally realized that the minute I started talking about unsquashing, it was the turning point. It was something people could get their head around. I still fell into the trap. I was going way too complex over that. And then I think I heard it fed back to me. Somebody said, "Oh, Trisha, she talks about self-belief unsquashed. She's got this phrase, self-squashing. It's great." And I thought, yeah, that's kind of all they need to tell someone about me. A nice, simple, catchy little hook. And I just need to keep the 3,000,000 ideas I've got in my head and just pick one out at a time. And the ones that don't connect to what I'm trying to say, just put them in another box for another time, another lifetime maybe. Keep it simple. 8 ways that I wasted money, because they have all involved maybe not getting as many clients as I should have done in the early days, getting clients that weren't paying enough in the early days, giving away my time for free, and actually making investments that were totally out of line with what I needed at that time. So yes, the good news is that I did just about have enough money when it came to doing my book. And that's the kind of thing that you want to have a little saving pot for, if possible. Because when the time comes that you think, yes, I want to write a book, you're going to have a few £1,000s to get it done properly. And that was a good investment. But I did it 5-6 years in to starting my business, which for me was the right time and therefore the right moment to invest that money. So yeah, I've learned a bit, haven't I? And I hope that I've made this mistake so you don't have to.